Hello and welcome to Newsbeats on NITV. I am Oluchi Madu, and with me on this edition is
Christine Opara. Thanks for joining us. Quick look at our major stories. Ogbulafor arraigned today.
Men threatens fresh violence.
Human Rights Commission to sue Yerima.
And 3 Nigerians win UK elections. Details shortly. The movement for the emancipation of the Niger Delta has threatened to spearhead a fresh wave of violence in the region. The movement has given President Goodluck Jonathan a few weeks of grace to kickstart talks on resource control and other issues affecting the Niger Delta. This message was contained in an email statement to the Agence France Presse on Saturday. The mail said Jonathan had only a little time to address their demands for resource control and the development of the oil-rich region. The group said since Jonathan has very little time to address the demands of this region before the fighting erupts, he needed to start doing something now. They also said they were aware that they gave him weeks to tackle a problem that has been existing for 50 years. Late President Adhere had last year granted amnesty to thousands of Niger Delta militants for laying down their weapons and started a rehabilitation program for them. Men, however, refused to take part in this amnesty program, though some of its commanders did. But the promised jobs, education, cash and infrastructure development under the post-amnesty program have failed to materialize quickly for the former militants. Men leader Mr. Henry Oka had last week said that Adhere's death could hamper a peaceful resolution of the Niger Delta crisis, saying that Adhere had a good understanding of the problems of the region and was determined to address the injustice there. But the coordinator of the Ijaw monitoring group, Mr. Joseph Eva, cautioned against expecting too much from Jonathan's presidency, as some Nigerians believe that the fact that he is a Niger Deltan automatically translates into peace in the region.
PDP Chairman Vincent Ogbulafor and 3 others were finally arraigned today at the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. The arraigned persons pleaded not guilty and made applications for bail. Ogo Uge has the rest of the story.
It was a tough day for security operatives at Court 3 in the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, where the 4 accused persons were arraigned. Besides the PDP chairman Vincent Ogbulafor, other accused persons include Emeka Ebila, Tony Iko and Jude Nwokoro. The court granted each of the accused persons bail on the conditions of 5 million naira and 2 sureties.
All the 4 of them were admitted into bail. And the conditions well acceptable to us. We don't have a problem with that. And luckily the prosecution did not oppose bail, and that is how it should be, because under section 42(1) of the Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Act, all offences chargeable under the act are available, this one's inclusive. And fortunately, we have a senior counsel leading the team for prosecution and never opposed bail.
They were granted bail in the sum of 5 million naira with 2 sureties. There was no imposition of production of any landed document, no traditional ruler to come and sign, no federal or state permanent secretary, none of those burdensome conditions. And that is to be expected, because they already had a tradition of honoring the bail that was granted to them by the commission, and there is indeed no likelihood of their jumping bail or not turning up for trial. So we are very happy that the court saw with us by imposing very, very liberal terms, and that is the new trend of the courts.
All attempts to get Vincent Ogbulafor to speak proved abortive, as security personnel and party faithful jealously shielded him away. However, there will be an accelerated hearing from Monday the 21st to Thursday the 24th day of June 2010. For NITV News, I am Ogodadi Uge.
The National Human Rights Commission, NHRC, has vowed to uncover the true story behind the alleged marriage of the former governor of Zamfara State, Senator Ahmed Yerima, to a 13-year-old girl. Head of Legal Services of the Commission, Mr. Olukayode Shobanjo, said the Commission is working towards ensuring Yerima's prosecution once investigations were concluded. He added that the Commission is more than prepared to protect the rights of all persons, whether Nigerian or not. The marriage has been condemned nationwide, with some women group calling for the suspension of Yerima from the Senate and further prosecution as punishments. But Yerima accused the women groups of invading his privacy. He said his wife is above 13, but he declined disclosing her real age. He also said such a marriage is not forbidden in Islam, adding that as a Muslim, he is entitled to enter into marriage with any girl in that age bracket. Meanwhile, as part of efforts to ensure the protection of people's rights, the NHRC has embarked on a sensitization campaign around Abuja. Addressing traders at Gosa Market along the airport road in Abuja, Mr. Olukayode Shobanjo, Director of Legal Services and Protection, said the Commission has decided to take its campaign to the grassroots in order to protect the rights of the less privileged persons.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has arrested a fake army general who has been defrauding Nigerians with cloned originals of property titles from the Abuja Geographical Information Service, AGIS. The suspect, Sylvanus Enunche, was picked up by operatives of the EFCC from Kefi Prison in Nasarawa State, where he is being detained as an awaiting trial inmate on account of a 17 million naira land fraud. He had been parading himself as a retired army general, but changed his story in the course of interrogation, saying he retired from the army in 2006 as a major. The army authority has since refuted his claims and said his service records could not be traced. His modus operandi was to go to the AGIS to get the original certificates of occupancy of properties in choice areas of Abuja, such as Maitama and Asokoro districts, and produce counterfeit copies from the original obtained.
The Rivers State government, in a move to reshuffle its staff strength, has set up a 12-man panel to sack all public servants employed after 2007, while employees who earned double promotion during the period are to be unmasked and demoted with immediate effect. This is because, according to the government, many people were rushed into the employment of the state government without due approval. The panel is to ensure that all those who found their way into the employ of the government without due process will be summarily thrown out. Head of Service Mrs. Esther Anucha, who disclosed the government's intention in Port Harcourt last weekend while inaugurating the Staff Verification Committee, said the administration wanted to know the actual number of staff and pensioners in the state civil service. She also spoke on the issue of ghost names, which has continued to feature on the payroll in spite of the many committees set up and actions taken by the government.
The Baptist Church in Nigeria is making plans to investigate former President Olusegun Obasanjo concerning the derogatory remarks he allegedly made that Christian clerics in the country needed deliverance. Some Christian leaders previously criticized Obasanjo for saying that even Jesus Christ could hardly conduct a free and fair election in Nigeria, and concluded that he needed deliverance. In retaliation, the former president fired back, saying it was the religious leaders who needed deliverance. General Secretary of the Nigerian Baptist Convention, NBC, Reverend Ademola Ishola, said the church had been under serious pressure to sanction Obasanjo for his utterances, since he is a member of the Baptist Church. He, however, said the church would not be forced to take action against the former president without first sitting with him to know the context under which he made the statements.
On a hearty note, 3 out of 5 Nigerians who contested in the United Kingdom general elections on Thursday have emerged winners of seats in the British Parliament. They are Chuka Umunna, Helen Grant and Chi Onwura. Umunna, who contested on the platform of the Labour Party, won the constituency seat for Streatham with 20,037 votes, which added up to 42.8% of the votes. He was born and bred in Streatham and is fondly referred to as the UK Obama. Helen Grant was born in London to a Nigerian father and British mother. She has become Conservative Party's first black female member of the parliament. She secured the seat for Maidstone and the Wild constituency with 23,491 votes, which added up to 48% of the votes. Also, Onwura won the Newcastle Central seat as a Labour Party candidate, securing the parliamentary seat with 15,692 votes, which is 45.9% of the total votes.
And that's it on this edition of News Bits. My name is Oluchi Madu.
And I am Christine Opara. Thanks for logging on.